Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. Today's episode is called Your Brain is Not as Stuck as You Think when it comes to weight loss. And that's really true. My mother is almost 77 years old, and this year she ran a half marathon, paddled in a kayaking marathon, ran 10 kilometers often on the weekends, ran various 5Ks, and rode her bike 24 miles in a day. Last year, she biked 100 miles over 2 days to raise money for multiple sclerosis. I find it remarkable that she keeps going like an Energizer bunny year after year. What is it that drives this adorable grandmother to get up at 5:30 a.m. every morning to work out? Is it the promise of those elusive endorphins, the feel-good hormones that create a healthy and natural mood boost? Is it an exercise addiction, or is it the social connections with her workout friends who are sometimes years, if not decades, younger than she is? While there are many pieces of the puzzle that drive her to this level of activity in her mid to late 70s, there's also something about habits at work here. That's what we're going to talk about today. I aspire to this level of exercise habit, and I'll bet many of you do too, though perhaps you can't imagine how you'd get there if you're not very active today. Mom also didn't expect to become an athlete back in her 30s when she was juggling 2 kids and a small business. She was working hard and sometimes burning the candle at both ends. But at some point, she decided to try jogging as a way to manage stress. Her first 5K took a lot of training and preparation. Like all of us, she didn't wake up one day with a coupon for a new habit under her pillow dropped off by the Healthy Habit Fairy. She created her exercise habit with intention, and you can do it too. In order to create a habit by design, let's take a look at how habits form. It might seem obvious, but without a roadmap for how to create a new habit, we may struggle to ever reach our goals. A habit is a behavior or action that you engage in over and over again. Eventually, the brain creates what's called a neural pathway for that behavior. I like to think of it like creating a walking path through a forest. As you walk the same route over and over again, a path begins to develop. A dirt trail takes shape under your feet. As you continue to walk that same path over months, years, and even decades, the path becomes wider, deeper, and more firmly entrenched. There's no new growth of trees or bushes or other flora on the path. All obstacles on the trail are tamped down and move out of the way thanks to the repetition created by the walking habit. This path wouldn't exist if you only walked through the forest once a month. Your path is super clear, and as the creator of the well-worn path, you are the expert who can navigate it, even in the fog, even on a dark, stormy evening, maybe even with your eyes closed. Your path can't be washed away with a regular storm or change of season. Once it's established, it takes a massive event to destroy this path. This is how our brains work when we've practiced a behavior over and over again. We create a pathway through our brain, a neural pathway. We head down the same path without having to think about it. It becomes automatic. There's no decision necessary, no negotiation. Congratulations! With repetition over time and plenty of patience, you've formed a habit. In the case of my mother, when she first wakes up, she doesn't decide in the moment whether or not she'll get up and put on her running shoes. That decision was made long ago. She gets up, puts on her sneakers, and heads out the door, whether or not the weather is nice, whether or not she's in the mood, and whether or not she has something heavy on her mind. Like the Nike slogan, she doesn't argue with herself. The hidden motto in the background of her brain is just do it. If you want to create a new habit, the first step is simply to make your plan. What do you want to do? How often can you repeat the behavior? How are you going to remind yourself, especially in the beginning? And how will you overcome your objections when your brain invites you to skip it this time? Here's the thing. Our brains like what's comfortable and familiar. That's why it's hard to break old habits and create new ones. If your habit is to wake up and scroll through social media for half an hour, your brain is going to resist getting up and going for a walk or a run. The job of your brain is to keep you comfortable, to avoid pain or discomfort. So as soon as you think, that sounds hard, your brain will invite you to skip it. And that's okay, nothing's gone wrong, but you don't have to listen to your brain's objections when you're trying to create a new habit. That's why we plan in advance how to coach ourselves when our brain rejects our new action. You can anticipate the pushback and pre-commit to hearing it, acknowledging it, and following your plan anyway. By the way, this applies whether you're trying to create an exercise habit, a writing habit, a meditation habit, or a bringing lunch to work habit. We have to set the intention, practice the new behavior, anticipate obstacles, and coach ourselves to overcome those obstacles by pre-committing to the new habit. The next step is simply to repeat. Just like walking through the forest creates a new path slowly over time, we'll form a fragile new neural pathway and then we'll strengthen it with repetition. This process is called synaptic plasticity. Over time, as you continue to perform the behavior, the neural connections become more efficient and the behavior becomes automatic. In essence, we rewire our brains by intentionally engaging in a behavior over and over again. Habits often follow a cue, routine, reward loop. The cue is a trigger or a stimulus that initiates the habit. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is the positive outcome or satisfaction you get from completing the routine. This loop reinforces the habit by associating it with a positive outcome. So if we think about creating a morning exercise habit, maybe the trigger is waking up when my alarm goes off, going into the bathroom, and seeing my workout clothes and shoes laid out next to the bathtub. That triggers the routine, which is putting on the clothes and going to exercise. The reward for me is that I track yes or no on a calendar to indicate whether or not I got up and exercised as planned. Seeing my yeses add up is the reward that reinforces the loop. By the way, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that I'm a fan of partial credit. If my plan was to wake up at 6 a.m. and walk for an hour, but I snoozed until 6:30 and only walked for 20 minutes, that's still a yes for me. We're looking for progress, not perfection. You might call it successive approximations toward a goal. Baby steps, people. Reward your baby steps. Consistency and repetition are key factors in habit formation and in forging new neural pathways. The more consistently you perform a behavior, the stronger the associated brain pathways become, making the habit more ingrained in your daily life. So, just like walking the path through the forest over and over again makes that path clear and easy to follow, frequently repeating that morning exercise routine eventually makes it the default. Our brains are always looking for the easy path. We don't want to try new and harder things, but with deliberate practice, the new routine will become a habit. And then you'll realize that the thing you always dreamed of doing regularly is now on autopilot. It takes very little effort. One last habit change nugget for you. It's easier to create a habit if it's something you practice every day. Or maybe you practice it every Monday through Friday during your work week. Creating a habit that you only do once a week takes much longer and is easier to forget. Imagine that forest path and the way it can get blocked with new growth if people walk the path infrequently. As you think about your NBA for today, your next best action, I invite you to consider a new habit that you'd love to create. Set an intention, write it down, and then curate your specific plan to start forming a new neural pathway. Practice it over and over and over again until it becomes your default. Your brain will thank you. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.